To continue from our last video, we spoke about TI defined by Carl Jung and other theories, including our own and IDT. We would do that same exact approach with SE, extroverted sensation, the perception function today, and read through the different theories in typology defining it as a function. Also want to make clear that these are Carl Jung's functions, so the emphasis is going to be on how he described it, and then any expansion from that, as long as other functions are mentioned, then I think it's more clear. But if it's not, then it's a little less clear, but at the same time, it's just being defined based on how each system is using it, which we got to give credit to. Another thing is, in between these series of function definitions, we will be throwing out examples of how it looks like in reality, trying to make it easier for people to see differences between types that could be the same type, yet different people utilizing the same functions in the same order. So let's start off with Carl Jung's theory. So Jung's psychological type defined SE, extroverted sensation, as a cognitive function that is characterized by a preference of experiencing the external world through the senses and making decisions based on what is directly perceived and experienced. It is a perception function, meaning it focuses on gathering information rather than making judgments. SE dominant individuals are often described as practical, grounded, and focused on concrete reality, valuing new experiences and opportunities for action. So when you look at the essence of what the function is, it being a perception function without judgment qualities to it. However, as we said before, no single function operates on its own. So anything beyond it being a perception function, you have to add a judgment quality to it in order for it to process information, because it can't do it on its own. It's not aware of anything. It's just a lens, so to speak. So the way that Carl Jung broke it down here, you can see what it highlights. It's grounded, it's focused on concrete reality. It values new experiences and opportunities for action, meaning the immediacy of this function. Those who are dominant within it will be more present in the here and now, so to speak. So very simple definition by Carl Jung of SE. MBTI. MBTI, extroverted sensation, SE, is a perceiving function that focuses on gathering concrete external information through the senses. So far, so good. Almost sounds exactly like Carl Jung. It emphasizes experiencing the present moment, appreciating physical reality, and responding to immediate stimuli. SE types are often described as practical, action-oriented, and interested in the tangible world. Perfect. Simple. Different way of wording it as opposed to Carl Jung. However, it gets the message across of what SE actually is. Moving on to objective personality system, right? SE, or extroverted sensation, is defined as a savior function that prioritizes gathering sensory data objectively in the moment. So far, so good. Rather than relying on past experiences. Okay, so rather than relying on past experiences, I guess is an indication of SI within their SE definition, which is completely fine, right? Comparing functions, attitudes to see differences is a good way to triangulate on what is. It's the gathering function that seeks to understand the immediate present and how to interact with it. Again, good defined definition of SE. Moving on. SE by Socionics, found in Wikisocion. Now, when I first found this, I found a description of Augusta and how he explained it. To Socionics credit, the way that they describe SE is information metabolism. So there's going to be a lot of information within the function of SE alone through the definition. However, because it's information, it's not going to be defined in the same way. So I skipped the Augusta part and went straight to the most purest SE definition that I can find underneath it. And it says here, extroverted sensation is an extroverted, irrational, and static information element. It is called SEF, volitional sensing or black sensing. Okay, so already this is stuff that is also embedded within the theory of socionics. The more you know about socionics, the better, as well as every system. SE includes the ability to know how much power, force, or influence is latent or required. Now, knowing something, there's a judgment to knowing, right? But I'm not going to get anal about that right now. I do think that, and as I said earlier, that the judgment functions have to be paired with SE in order for any perception function or judgment function to be explained. So I don't think that that's much of a big deal. But what I gather from this is the potential of seeing what's in front of you and making a judgment to it. The reason why you know how much power is necessary or force is necessary per situation. Types that value SE are much more comfortable with direct behavior aimed at making an immediate impact, okay? The immediacy of it. This may at times be perceived as abrasive, particularly by types who do not value SE. There is usually a competitive edge to this style or group interaction, resulting in a more intense atmosphere than that of introverted sensation. So it's compare and contrast. Again, simple, yet there's more happening with socionics, but so far we can see that is a trend with socionics and probably speaks to why people enjoy it so much, because it kind of changed or turned functions into something that is more practical, as SE actually is, right? Something that you can actually see and make sense of it. And I don't have an issue with this definition. I would say the word force implies that a judgment is taking part with perception of SE, which is true. But I would also say that maybe adding, if I was to critique, add that part of judgment in it in order to show the dynamic that it has with other functions, because that's clearly what's happening here. Moving on. So now we're going to do the IDT version, and this went pretty quick now that I'm thinking about it. And it's mainly because SE is just simple, right? You're talking about an extroverted function, a little bit easier to see. Most systems or theories explain it the same exact way, but the way that we explain it is based on our theory. In Seeker Destroyers, SE serves as the dominant pillar function based on a perceptual lens of expansive potential, yet continuously linked with the in-service function of either FE or TE, oscillating between guide and building elements within the major arc. SE pillar types initially explore tangible space by navigating the physical environment, seeking impactful means. SE as an attached function expands externally, meaning object in its orientation, and capturing the immediacy of the moment. The process with its rational function seeks to insert most potential cause, producing the most natural form of active engagement in the here and now. Unlike any, SE is more grounded in the search for what is, processing tangible objects in sequential order, with the ability to focus and siege the extrinsic experience. As for the use of their opposing auxiliary function, being used as a cautious identifier, SE minimizes the use of subjective criteria, utilizing FI or TI assimilation to obtain objective clarity by consistently gathering new information. So that is pretty long-winded. There's a reason for that, mainly because adding the judgment components to SE to see how these functions interact with one another. The reason why SE knows how to apply impact is based off the judgment functions working with it. And those judgment functions that are most natural are also extroverted functions like SE, and that is encompassing of the object and its orientation all together. Later.